Good morning.
Good morning from my McLaren 750S.
Yeah,
4 litres, V8,
she's fast.
and she's bright green.
She's bright green.
Look, did I pay to be in this car? It is possible. We are here down in Phillip Island at the track with Charity Drive Days, which is very exciting. And all the proceeds, they're proudly supporting Challenge, which is a wonderful charity. So last night at one of the auctions, I was like,
Elle had a few too many drinks.
possibly, and I said I wasn't going to spend any money. But then here we are.
But you know what? This is like a great... I was saying like it's a win-win. Like it's a sick experience. And also the money's going to charity.
It's going to charity.
It's a good place to spend money.
I am driving this car later. We're not going to drive it whilst we record the podcast because...
That would be illegal.
No, it's not illegal. It's just you're not going to hear anything if we do that.
Well, that too.
We are surrounded by some of the most incredible cars right now. I can't even...
Some beasts.
Can't even describe what is going around. There is... Ooh, what's that? That's another McLaren Spider that's about to go out.
What's your favourite car here today?
I don't know, but it's like who's got the biggest dick.
Yeah, I was like, Elle, how small does your dick feel here?
I know. Pat's rocked up in her BYD C-Line 6. I've rocked up in my mum's 15-year-old ML 350, which has just got like the most giant windscreen crack.
And we should mention we are here as well, specifically with Create Classics.
Yeah, we are.
So Create Classics have a Ferrari Collezione. I think it's 348. It's like 50 were made. It's in 1994, the year you were born.
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe you should buy it.
Maybe I should buy it.
I think it's about 700k if you want to buy that.
So is this car actually? I think this one is 688. I think this exact model.
Yep. So if you've got that in your bank account, but it's sick being here. The noises, the smells, every car is just more beautiful than the other. And yeah, we rocked up with our little shit boxes. That's all right. We get to appreciate the beauty and we get to sit here.
We'll put a video on getting into
the car. It was locked.
In all fairness, it was locked.
It was locked.
Pat and I, we're trying to, open the doors and we're like, how dumb do you feel?
The car is like, you guys are too poor for this.
No, it was like, this is so far above our tax bracket. And then the window was down and you couldn't even fucking close the window.
Nothing's happening. The window's rejecting me.
Oh, fuck it.
Anyway, we're here.
We're here and Monaco was last night.
Monaco was last night. I'm actually wearing my Principal, the label Monaco Crew.
No, that's actually the Monza Crew.
Oh, this is the Monza Crew.
That's the Monza.
You're wearing the Monaco Crew.
No, the Monaco was the green one.
Monaco was the green.
Which was our very first crew. So,
okay.
I'm wearing Silverstone 2.0.
I'm not going to lie. I knew that I was going to wear this jumper today. Thank you, Elle. And I was like, maybe I can manifest a Charles win that... Sorry to spoil it. Charles did not win. But we are in a McLaren.
I manifested it by... I have a photo last year at Silverstone, me wearing my Monaco jumper in front of a large fuck-off 4.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, there you
Paddock.
go.
So I was like, that's my manifestation. I wore my Monaco Crew.
That's nice.
Outside of Lando's.
That's nice. Yeah. We'll get into the race, but hey, we have got limited time in this beautiful vehicle.
We're on a real time crunch. I think
we are on a real time crunch.
We're 3 minutes in. We have 17 left, so we're going to power through.
Yes.
Sorry if you're expecting a much longer episode. This is not going to be that one.
No, but hey, let's kick it off with news.
Yep.
Disney Cross F1.
I'm so intrigued about this. I don't
quite understand.
I don't quite understand. Look, I think that I understand from it is that maybe they're trying to target that younger generation.
Audience, yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah, I don't know. So, for those that haven't seen, all these teasers went out about a week ago with, Mickey Mouse F1, And I still don't quite understand, but it's basically there's, as of 2026, a partnership between Disney and F1.
The only other thing is, you know how, I don't actually know about the rest of the world, but we have the Disney app, which is like Netflix. Maybe it's something. Maybe it's moving from F1's going to move from KO to Disney.
Well, that's specifically Australia.
Disney in Australia, so the app, they actually have NBA on there.
Yeah, and they got something else recently as well, actually.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of. Guys, there are so many Lamborghinis lining up to go past us right now. It's actually
so just
crazy.
Then it was all the Porsches, and now it's the Lambos.
Also, what does everyone think about if you have an Aston Martin Vantage? Should your number plate still be Aston? It's one to debate.
One to debate. But hey, I did say if I had a Ferrari and I could have Ferrari as the number plate, I wouldn't complain.
Yeah.
I would not complain. But yeah, so I don't know about this whole Disney Cross F1 situation. I mean, I'm a child at heart. I love Disney. So I was very excited when I saw this. But I don't really know what to expect. But
No, interesting.
will be interesting to see next year.
Now, what do you think about the whole abuse situation going on that's been happening? So can you catch everyone up tell them what's been happening with the abuse?
Yeah, we sort of didn't touch on this last week. But basically, poor Yuki, after his crash last week at Imola, he copped so much abuse online. A lot of racist remarks were made about him, and Franco Colapinto also copped it. And I do want to take my hat off to Mohammed Ben Salem, because he did come out and actually support them and sort of back them up and say, like, this is really uncalled for and this is awful behaviour. And right after that, actually, as well, I don't know if you saw that post that Jack Doohan did. Where
Didn't he blame Argentinian fans?
Well, he said that it came from an Argentine source, and then he said that he was meant to say, then he wrote correction, non-Argentine source, which...
and obviously that was the tied-in because of Colapinto is Argentinian.
Yes.
So he was saying he was copping abuse for that.
Yes. So I think we didn't touch on this last week, but basically... there was a footage of when Franco had his crash, and then apparently someone had like stitched a photo or a video of Jack laughing, which wasn't true. But yeah, people have come for him, and I just think like abuse in any situation is not okay.
Guys, if we abused, we would not be sitting in this wonderful McLaren. By the way,
well, we do get.
I don't fit
sometimes.
in these seats.
The perks of being small.
Ooh! Orange seatbelts. I'm just gonna put this on.
I'll put it on.
Oh
for
no!
when we talk
I
about
dropped
the
one of the
race.
things. Oh no!
Elle and dropping things in cars. This is like the third time this has happened with you.
Oh my god! I dropped it.
All right, we'll ask him. Oh, it's alright.
Crap! Oh my god! I can't believe I dropped that down there.
Hold on.
Just
Alright.
casually dropping things in a $700,000 car.
All right, we'll do that after. Yeah. So abuse, no good. But I did feel for Jack, because he was like, people are coming for his family.
Patty's social corner.
Social corner. I'm gonna zuzz through this.
Zhuzh, yes.
I don't know if you saw. Congratulations, Naomi Schiff. You are pregnant.
We love a new F1 baby popping into the paddock.
New F1 baby. I was actually thinking last night when I was watching the coverage, like, oh, look at her, she's pregnant. So massive congrats.
Are you sure she's pregnant? Like it's actually been?
Yeah, she did like a full pregnancy photo shoot.
I was like,
yeah, like
don't ever assume that someone's pregnant.
No, never assume.
Yeah, never assume.
Kicked off Monaco GP week with. Did you see Alex Saint Mleux?
I did. So Meshki is, for anyone listening, it is a women's dresswear brand.
Yeah.
It's like,
Mid-tier.
mid-tier brand,
Yeah.
low tier. It actually started
Low tier,
low tier,
yeah.
now it's kind of like popping up. But so Alex has actually been wearing this brand for
Charles'
a
girlfriend.
long time. Yeah, Charles' close girlfriend. She's been wearing it for a long time. So it makes sense that they've popped her into a campaign and shot her around South of France.
Well, I think she's done like a collab with them.
Yeah.
So she's done like a collection with them, which is great to see. And yeah, I'm sure that they will fly off the racks. But I know when we spoke about Sophie as well, she was saying how she loves to see Alex in Meshki.
It definitely gets you inspired about what to wear to the F1. Like she's really great. People are obsessed with her as well.
People are obsessed. I actually didn't realize she's like got like 1.5.
She's one of the most followed wags.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I don't understand as well. Like, I mean, she's lovely, but I don't. Yeah.
No, people are absolutely obsessed with her.
her.
And you know who everyone's going to be obsessed with? The biggest fucking hard launch in F1 in Monaco Grand Prix.
I know.
I mean, it's been no secret that Lando Norris has been seeing, quotation marks, I can't pronounce her name.
Magui.
She's a Portuguese actress / model.
She's so hot.
She's stunning.
We
And
thought Gecko was hot.
it's been like rumoured that this is who he's dating for a while. Like he got stuck in Portugal just before the Miami Grand Prix because of like all the storms. He got stuck there and they were like, oh my God, how are you going to get there? And everyone was like, wait, why is he in Portugal? Ooh. And like she's always in the back of the photos. But anyway, F1 like full blown hard launch. Like if you were like
even
not wanting
Ted
to.
Kravitz was like, and Lando Norris's partner. He said girlfriend. I mean partner. I was like,
Yeah.
Okay.
So essentially what happened was when Lando won pole position in quali, it just
Straight
panned to her
pan to
face,
her.
and she's like all worried, and then she's like,
Yeah.
and it's like that could not be more of a hard launch because he was with his parents. She was with his
The
parents.
hardest of launches. So
Would
congratulations.
you be annoyed?
Lando.
Would you be annoyed if that's how F1 announced your news to the world and you weren't ready to announce the news? But
Nah,
surely,
yeah,
that was planned for them to
Yeah.
be there.
absolutely. That is definitely planned. Like,
She's come to races before.
I'm sure Lando
pretty
was
sure,
like approved.
I'm actually pretty sure she came to Monaco last year, but she was like hidden
Yeah. Yep. I think so.
or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. But congrats, Lando. And for those that used to see Lando on Raya, I would hope to see that he is no longer on Raya.
And speaking of wags, who was accidentally tagged?
So you know Kai Milan, he does like all the
Kim.
Yeah, Kim. Sorry, he does all the
Yep, the Australian
photos.
photographer.
Yes.
Yep. He works for F1. He also does
all the
weekly YouTubes,
yes, so
gossip.
all like the sort of like the big photos that come out over race weekend. Probably the best photos that come out over race weekend besides yours.
Thanks.
He took a lovely photo of Alexandra, Charles' girlfriend, but he tagged Charlotte, Charles'
Awkward. Ex-girlfriend who Charles
Ex-girlfriend.
rumoured to have cheated on with
Alex. How's that for a slap in the face?
Bit
I'm like,
mean.
was it a mistake or was it on purpose?
Hmm.
Who knows?
Awkward.
Anyway, should we get into race weekend?
Let's get into the race. It is Monaco.
Oh, now I've
Look-
dropped my sunglasses.
Oh, God, it's all happening in here.
It's all
Look, I'm not going to lie. I really struggled to stay up to watch Monaco last night. Partly because I'd had too many red wines at dinner
Which is why we're sitting in this car now.
and not driving it. No, just kidding. That's not the reason why I'm not hungover. But we're sitting in the McLaren with the orange stripes.
Oh,
We're in
yes,
the
sorry.
Spider, and there's orange seatbelts, as we already mentioned. Because if you didn't already know, Lando
Lando
Norris is the winner of Monaco, baby.
This is my solidarity to Lando, even though what time last night was I texting you? 12:30 at night. I really hope Charlotte.
Yeah, you're like, I think Charles is going to come back. I was like, nah.
No, I wasn't. I just wanted it to happen.
No,
But I
that-
was like,
that
Ferrari's
was-
going to fuck this up.
Honestly, I am shocked Ferrari did not fuck it up.
Yeah.
As I said to you, the fact that they had a mandatory 2 pit stop strategy, yes, thank you. Look, still not an excellent race.
Yeah, we
Kind
need
of
to speak
boring on
about
the
that.
second half of it.
Yeah.
But I was pointing at the camera and someone thought I was waving
he's
at them
like,
through
"Hey."
this, and I wasn't waving
But
at them.
yes, this is my car. Yeah.
He is the guy from McLaren though, so I think that's maybe why. Oh no, he's the Lamborghini guy. Very confusing anyway.
Yeah, I was-
Anyway, moving on. So I'm getting distracted. ADHD here, clearly. I really thought Ferrari were going to stuff up their
Yeah,
pit strategies, but
they didn't.
how freaking quick were they?
Yeah, they were very quick. Although
Charles had his first tyre change was 2.1
Yeah.
or 2.2, and then Lewis's was flat 2.
and then they actually
Quick.
Well, the McLaren stuffed up.
Yeah,
Oscars.
then
I
they
think it was like 3.2 or something.
3.6 was Oscar's
Yeah.
afterwards, and Oscar was like, "Well, thanks for fucking
Thanks.
my race up." Like
Yeah.
that
But
stuff.
I mean, he wasn't gonna come back anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, something we obviously have to touch on. It was mandatory to stop for Monaco. How do you feel about it?
I mean, you know, I was so excited. I
Yeah.
told you ages ago I was so excited. I was hoping for it last year,
Mm.
so they needed to bring it in. Did it make the race more interesting? Yes and no. I think
Yeah.
because the strategy behind it of when everyone was going to do it, there was a yellow flag in the first 3 laps. So the bottom end of the grid, a lot of them took advantage to quickly change their tyres and get one out of the way.
Yep.
Smart, especially for those that had grid penalties and had to be at the back. But Mercedes, they didn't use their
God,
2
Mercedes.
their 2 pit stops until the
Disaster
end.
of a day for Mercedes.
So I don't know if that works. So that made it interesting of like, when is everyone going to do it?
Yeah. Because they're probably all waiting for like a yellow flag.
Yeah, and then like you had the Williams, you know, Carlos and Alex.
Everyone wanted to punch Alex.
Everyone was so fucking sick of the Williams because they were trying to hold up the grid
Yeah.
so they could work out their tyre strategies.
Yeah.
And no one can pass, obviously. And everyone's like, "You're driving fucking slowly." Like George Russell was about to lose his shit.
Well, my random of the moment of the week is on this, and I will touch on it
It's
after.
like, yeah. So that was really funny. How did you feel about the
Yeah,
2
like,
pits?
yeah, I did
Are we
quite
calling
enjoy.
it 2 pits or 2 stops?
Yeah. Well, I did
2
quite.
pit stops.
Yeah, I did quite enjoy throughout the race. Like, I liked how they were so. F1 did such a good job with adapting to this and like putting up a visual, like who has done the stops, how many stops have they done, and like then they did like a nice, I'm a very visual person, that they did like a nice grid of like, okay, many people have done 1, this many people have done 2, this many people have done 0. So I really liked that. I do think it added a bit of flair, which is what we wanted.
I thought it had flair.
But I don't necessarily think that was the right, like, I think it's good that they did it, they tried it, they tested it. Don't think it's necessary for next year. I think they're just trying to do something to make.
Keep it.
Really? No, I think they're trying to do something to make Monaco interesting.
Yeah, but I think that's what the only thing that made it interesting.
Yeah, but I think there's another way. I don't know. I think there's something else that they can do, whether it's like
but imagine,
mandatory stop within the first 20 laps or something like that.
Yeah,
like,
so if the first one,
yeah.
But then that would make it, I think, easier for tyre strategies because obviously the selection of tyres from Pirelli were on the softer side.
They were. Which I actually was going to say to you, I think we will probably do like another refresher on tyres
because a lot of people, like the hard one was not like a hard tyre.
Yeah, and because there's obviously a new composition that came this year, the C6.
Yeah, imagine if with the 2 mandatory and it was raining.
Yeah.
That
that's a thing with...
That would have made it more interesting.
And that's the thing with Monaco as well. It's always like you're kind of hoping for rain just for a little bit more drama. But on the topic of drama as well, Pierre Gasly's crash.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so Pierre Gasly crashed, I think, within the first couple of laps. And I didn't quite understand. So his brakes just stopped working.
I know. He knocked his back.
And then
he flipped, and then he lost his whole front wing, and he lost his brakes.
So he couldn't brake.
And everyone's
like, Pierre can't brake.
Yeah, he's like, I can't brake, and he just kept going. Yeah. And then so the pit entry came up, and he decided just to roll in there.
Yeah.
And then they managed to stop the car in the middle of in the middle of the pit. So then no one could get past him. So then the pit entry was closed. So there's a yellow flag. So all the teams are like, this would have been the time to change your tire, but. Yeah. Pierre was stuck there. And then didn't he get a fine?
He did get a fine, and it was funny as well because
apparently he could have gone off earlier somewhere else.
Yeah, and it was funny though because Yuki didn't quite understand what was happening, and he like kind of started abusing, like, what is he doing? Blah blah blah. I'm like, slay Yuki, yell at your old teammate.
He didn't mean it. He just lost his brakes, but he caused a bit of an issue. By
that is a very dangerous situation where you just like can't brake. Yeah, you're just rolling, and you're like, yep, well. Let me roll away.
I know. We're watching that and we're like, oh my God, who's going to catch him and get like the big fishing net out? Yeah. It was like giving like Top Gun. Do you remember when they get like the big nets out to try and catch the planes on the boat? That's what I was thinking. Just holding it up.
But no, it was, interesting. I'm not 100% sold on the 2 stop mandatory pits, but
I am.
We'll see.
I am. I think we need a couple more years for it to see how it goes.
Yeah, maybe. But
any highlights like from the whole race or the race weekend, like quali or anything like that from you?
I actually didn't properly watch quali because I had my sister-in-law's wedding. So, what about you? What were your thoughts on quali?
I was really impressed with Lando.
Yeah,
I think that's why I was like, Lando's got this, like to set the fastest time at Monaco.
I know, he did.
I think that was my biggest highlight of that. I did think Max or Lewis were going to come up. And obviously then
Lewis did well in in practice. He did really well.
But if we're talking drivers of the day, and I'm saying drivers, obviously Lando, excellent race, very well deserved. But got to give credit where credit's due. Liam Lawson and Isaac Hadjar.
I was just about to say that.
Points for the rookie.
Isaac Hadjar came 6th.
I know. And
Esteban Ocon came 7th.
Yeah, so, but like, no, all rookie team. Yeah. Their first time at Monaco when it's not in F2.
Yeah.
Or on a sim.
Yeah. I know. It is iconic. And I agree. Lando was also my driver of the day because he was able to keep cool, calm, collected.
He did. When he got out and he got pole quali, he was stone-faced still. It's like, don't celebrate, don't give any emotion. I was so impressed. I was like,
Yeah, I think we are seeing a much more headstrong Lando. So I do think he did deserve the win, and it is nice to see someone new win at the most iconic track of the circuit. Very proud of you, Lando, even though I was like, I want Charles to win. I actually had a thought. I did say this to Ella. I did have a thought at one point over the weekend. I was like, imagine if Hamilton just randomly pulled it out of the bag, but that was obviously not going to happen.
No. It would have been cool. It would have been
It would
cool.
have been cool. It would
Yep.
have been so cool. And obviously, I think because Hamilton's obviously won, I think he would have become the top. I think he's the only driver that's won in two separate teams, for two separate teams at Monaco. So if he would have gotten a third team, that would have been very cool. Random moment of the week. Have you got one? Because I have one.
I don't have one, so what's yours?
Well, mine's funny because I just saw it before. Alex Albon posted a photo. And
With the bill?
with the bill. He's like,
You got to explain to people what that was about.
So basically, because Alex Albon
Slowed everyone down,
in particular George Russell, who is one of his closest friends on the grid. He shouted him dinner, and I love to see that.
Well, George came out in his post-race interview and was like, Alex better be paying the bill tonight.
Yeah.
He was like, fuck that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Alex took George out for dinner. I thought that was quite funny.
Very funny. Do you know, when I was driving here this morning, I was actually thinking, like, oh, like, they're probably all out celebrating right now. And, like, Lando, I'm like, where is Lando right now? He's probably, like, getting pissed somewhere.
He'd be partying freaking hard on a yacht somewhere, but he's
As
got
he
Barcelona in 6 days. So he
6
not
days,
5
yeah.
days. 5 days, he better not be going too hard on that one.
No, not too hard. But yes, Barcelona. Last one.
Last one for the triple header.
Barcelona. No, but also last Barcelona.
Oh, yeah, last
forever,
Barcelona
or
ever.
Until who knows, because obviously next year Madrid is taking
I
over.
hope Lewis gets this one.
Oh, yeah. He
It'd
could
be
second.
like nice to be on the podium.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to win.
No, okay.
I don't think Ferrari's got a chance of winning there.
So he came third last year.
Yeah.
So Max Verstappen won last year. Then Lando came second. Lewis came third. Barcelona's. I don't really look forward to Barcelona. I find it a really boring race. But yeah, that would be nice to see. I mean, at least we finally got a Ferrari on the podium this weekend. So hopefully that would be great if we saw Lewis.
Now you've got your red Sunday racing principal jumper. So
Let it be.
anything's possible. Now, party people, keep looking at us because I think that other people are supposed to be in this car driving. So we better quickly wrap this up.
Actually, I will say though, on the topic of Ferrari and Barcelona, they are getting a new wing this week, front wing this week.
Oh yeah, that's right. They are getting
Yep.
little new
So
parts.
that might
I think
do
so is
something.
McLaren as well,
Yeah.
and Aston Martin.
Green flag, red flag.
Look, my red flag. I haven't had a chance to stop, and I've been sleeping about 3 hours again every night because of work. So it's been about 2 weeks of that. So I'm back in that position again, which is really not great for anyone. Green flag? God, so much. I've had a very action-packed car week, which I'm not allowed to talk about.
Yeah.
So
But it's been
that's about it. What about you?
Well, I just.
Actually,
Yeah, go on.
I changed my mind. On green flags. We've got some new principal stuff coming in soon, and it's so cool. If you like Lando and Oscar, you're gonna like this.
Wink, wink.
That's me winking.
Love it.
Yep, yo.
Yes. Well, so you obviously arrived here last night. I did not because I flew in from the Whit Sundays. I was in the Whit Sundays last week for my sister-in-law's wedding. So that's
Beautiful.
my green flag. It was really beautiful, super, super intimate wedding. 8 of us, including the mush, so technically 7.5. It was lovely. But my red flag is, I said to Elle, I was like, please don't be repulsed by me. I swear I'm not contagious. I look like I've been stricken by the fucking bubonic plague because the amount of bites I'm covered in is not okay. The amount of itch I'm feeling is not okay.
Have you been taking like some Panadol and Nurofen or something?
No,
I feel
and
like
I don't
that's
think
what
I
you
can.
need.
But I think, and the thing is, like, an antihistamine would probably do me good, but I can't
Nurofen-
because I'm
Nurofen would
breastfeeding.
help.
Do you think?
Yeah.
With itching?
Yeah,
Okay,
massive.
well, maybe I should. Like, I'm gonna pull my pants down later.
Yeah.
I'm bruised from the amount of
Yeah,
scratching.
no, you should be taking some Panadol and Nurofen.
Like, I've hiked through the Amazon, and
you're
I
not
didn't
you're not
get this.
breastfeeding today. You're down here. Let's
I'll
go get.
breastfeed later. But
Yeah.
no, Panadol and Eurofen's fine.
Yeah.
I've actually got some in my bag.
Yeah.
So I'm an itchy gal, and also I should mention that there was 7 suitcases amongst us, and on the way down,
Look at
4
that,
were
Lambo.
lost. Wow, that's sick. 4 were lost, including the brides with her shoes, her rings, her certificates, everything. But luckily, they were delivered.
I was
Careful
thinking
away.
about this when you said her rings and
I
certificate were
know
in
the
there.
fact that she put. When she was like, "Oh, the wedding rings," and I was like, "Sorry, Sonia, what?" She's like, and I didn't want to react because obviously it was very emotional.
I didn't want to say anything, but why would you put the wedding rings and the
I know,
certificates
I know.
in check-in luggage?
in check-in luggage, and I was like, "You put your rings in your check-in?"
It's very
In that moment when I
brave.
reacted, I was like, "Don't react because there's enough going on." I was like, afterwards I said to us, like, I should have told you to put everything. When I flew to Greece for my wedding, I had everything that I needed for the wedding, like 2 pairs of shoes, my first and second dress, like all those things, I put
Yeah.
it into my carry-on. So I was like, if anything gets lost, it's all here. Anyway, so that's good advice for anyone if they're traveling for a wedding. But hey, we better get out of here because
Everyone's looking at us.
Everyone's staring at us.
And I'm gonna go drive this around
Woo!
Phillip Island,
Woohoo!
which I'm really excited about.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna do it for 10 minutes, and then Pat can have the other 10 minutes.
Yay.
That's right. Phillip Island's only 10 minutes from
Yes.
end to end anyway.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.